A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show. I'll get it. We got the the deer horse from Pittsburgh visiting, and so he is going to start the show, and the deer goon will be exit stage right here for the start of today's show. Primary business with the deer horse, of course. He is our parade correspondent for the World Series Championship Parade in Pittsburgh, coming up at the end of this season. And much like Penn State men's hockey, this is going to be one of those stories of just a remarkable turnaround, deer horse, when it's all said and done.
Yeah, it's just the resilience of the Pirates starting now.
Yeah, clearly.
Is just going to be legendary. But we got 2 wins, 2 straight wins.
Not only back-to-back wins, deer horse, not 1, not 2, but I counted them up, 3 runs in one game. We're not talking about a series, folks. 3 runs in one game yesterday afternoon.
We may have even had an extra base hit yesterday. I can't remember.
I think that is a possibility.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the city obviously enthused, fired up, ready for the big series with the Brew Crew, which gets underway tonight. My wife, the Mad Turtle, and I will be on hand for Saturday afternoon's game in the Berg.
The Pirates know you guys are coming.
Yeah.
And it's going to be so nice. You can not only pick your seat, not only pick your row, you can pick your section. You'll have a section all to yourself, spread out.
They're going to clear it out for us.
Yeah.
This is very nice.
Enjoy it. I'll tell you what, though, and all and their fans, I've never seen more apathy from the people of Pittsburgh than this year. Like most years, it's anger or disappointment or frustration or whatever. But, like, they are at the point where people are like, okay, whatever. And unfortunately, like, I still think I'm ahead of the curve when I predicted I think they're – good chance they might be gone after 2030. Like there's going to be negotiations, and the city and county aren't going to want to pay any more for stadium upgrades for for nothing for 30 years. So we'll see what happens. But like a lot of people are like at the point where if they go, they go. Like they still like the stadium. They still like the idea of the team.
Yep.
They still like Paul Skeens. I mean, you saw his frustration on Sunday at the top of the dugout steps.
For sure.
It's a sad time for our Pittsburgh Pirates, but football season's not that far away. High hopes for both the Steelers and the Nittany Lions, but I gotta pick a mistress team for the rest of the baseball season. I can't do the Phillies because they're too good now.
Yeah,
right. If they were just mediocre, I'd jump on the mediocre bandwagon. Like,
no, you can't do that.
Maybe like the Guardians. They're close. I like them.
So here's how I'm able to see. I can kind of slide in through the back door, which is the Mad Turtle.
Yes.
For whatever reason, and I don't really know where it came from, but Fernando Tatis just became like his guy.
Okay.
This was last year. And so the Padres became his team. Now the Padres are having themselves one heck of a season to this point. They are a fun team to watch. So my second team, if you will, is the Padres, just because I am supporting my dear kiddo. And also, it is kind of cool to have a team that's winning baseball games that you could root for. It's kind of a foreign concept.
Now, does the Turtle realize he's not actually part of the Padres organization?
At this point, he does.
Okay.
Now, someday that may become less clear.
Somebody doesn't like the new co-host. I'm only here for a couple minutes, Bloush. Keep yourself in check. That's actually really funny. The Padres are good. There's so many good teams. I mean, most teams care. But Pirates don't. The Pirates ownership doesn't, and it's not going to change anytime soon. And it's frustrating. So,
well, and it's especially frustrating because everything else surrounding the organization has been so upbeat. I mean, no problems with anything in the stands.
I did used to say that about the Bucks.
Yeah,
like they did everything right except for the baseball.
They threw that out the window.
And that's gone now too. All the goodwill about the bricks and about the guy falling over the wall, the sign on the wall, just like so much nonsense. It's incredible.
Just
You know the story about the bricks?
Yeah.
It's awful. Hey, real quick, one of my former students is in AAA for Seattle. He's playing for Tacoma, I believe. Cole Young.
No kidding.
You heard his name first on these airwaves here.
Very cool.
Very excited for him to break through, and he has a chance to be really, really good. He was a number 1 draft pick in 2022-ish, something like that. So great kid, great family, and
that's awesome.
Rooting for him to break through to the bigs and never play for the Pirates. But maybe Seattle come to town once every other year. We might see him. But
mention as we come on today that the Penn State USC baseball game, the second game of the Big Ten tournament for Penn State, is underway. Again, they moved that game up an hour because of the expected rain out in Omaha. Oh, must be tough living in an area where there's rain.
Yeah, it's sunny skies here at State College.
As always, just another day of sunny glory here in Happy Valley. Paxton Kling got on and then has just stolen a base. One of the more remarkable things I've seen was in yesterday's game, Penn State beating Washington 5-3. But Paxton Kling, we talked a bit about this on our morning show today. And Paxton Kling, if you weren't watching the game yesterday, on a sacrifice fly, scored from second base.
Yeah, I heard about this. How'd that happen?
And it was just flat out, he is that fast. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
It was a deep fly ball to center field, and it was deep, and that certainly was part of the factor here. And the center fielder for Washington was turned around, so he's kind of facing the fence. But, I mean, he gets the ball. It wasn't like he dilly-dallied out there. I mean, he gets the ball, he turns around, fires it in, and they relay it home. And Paxton Kling is just so fast. He just beats the throw in. It was a fairly close play at the plate, but he was clearly in there ahead of time. And the Washington coaches, understandably, okay, we got to challenge that. There's no way a dude scores from second on just a regular sacrifice fly without leaving early. And they showed it. And not only did he not leave early, it was like he waits that beat. I mean, the catch is made, and it's like, all right, catch is made. He has the ball. Boom. Then he goes. I mean, it like there was zero doubt about it. It was a good beat that he waited before he left the base.
Is he considered to be a prospect for the draft this year?
He is. Yeah, he's a transfer from LSU and finishing up here with Penn State. He is a terrific all-around player, but his speed obviously is a huge asset. But he swings a great bat as well. But I'm telling you, the you go back and watch it, and the thing is, when he had it in mind from the moment he left. I mean, he leaves second with the clear notion in his head that he's going to go for home. Now, I don't know if the entire time it's definite, but I mean, he is flying and he does not hesitate as he hits third. And it's one of those things. I'm watching the game and I'm not thinking of that as a possibility.
Oh, he's running now.
And even on the Big Ten network, they're talking about it. He is. Penn State goes up 1-0. Top of the first here, and the 9th-seeded Nittany Lions have the early lead over 4th-seeded USC after beating 5th-seeded Washington yesterday. So, his speed is something. But it caught, I think, the Big Ten crew off guard, too, as understandably it would catch anybody that's watched baseball for any length of time off guard, because the Big Ten crew is like, oh, sacrifice fly, and that'll score a run. And then all of a sudden, I think it was the color analyst was like, and here comes Paxton Kling trying to get home, and like, oh my gosh, he's going to make it. Just amazing, aggressive base running and a really, heads up and aggressive play, and that really is how Penn State played.
And I want to say, like, this is the highest level where that's ever going to work. But you never know, because if no one's expecting, or if he's playing against the Pirates someday, it can work.
Oh,
it can definitely work.
Absolutely. And, we thank God every day as Pirates fans. Bless you for the Colorado Rockies, because that assures that Pittsburgh will not be the worst team in Major League Baseball.
We'll see about that. It's a long season. It's a lot of baseball left to play.
They are not going to be surpassed by the Rockies.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you right now.
But
that is not happening.
But
that Colorado team is awful.
They're bad. They're bad. And the Pirates should be better than they are.
Yeah, I mean, the Pirates at least have starting pitching.
Yeah,
that starting pitching rotation is incredible.
It's been stupid great.
And how they're going to waste that type of starting pitching is truly mind-boggling.
But I know, like, I make that video every year where I daydream about, like, this is the year for the Pirates to do well.
We played that.
I know you did. I actually watched it when I was at the opener in Miami.
Love it.
And it was fantastic. And I was just thinking to myself, at least I give myself those 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like all the other people around Pittsburgh that still care are miserable. I'm miserable too. But for 2 minutes, I was happy. I was fantasizing. One of these years, man, I'm at that parade. I'm going to be broadcasting over these airwaves live.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Pumped up for it.
We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. More than And listen, I'm your age. You know, we got a lot of time left.
Oh, yeah. No, 40's coming up quick, though. Yeah. Both 39 coming right around the corner.
Absolutely.
Oh, you be quiet over there, Goon.
Yeah, who asked him?
Nobody can hear you. You don't have a mic.
Philly spray might have.
No
and that's what happened. And my Penn State friends know this. Like, I come up for a football game each fall, and a lot of times it's homecoming, and it's just the worst when the Phillies are in the playoffs. And I like the Phillies. I really do. But you just got to take it as a Pirates fan. You can just say nothing. You're just sitting there. Like hockey, okay, we can jaw back and forth. Football, we can jaw back and forth. And the Eagles have certainly been better than our Steelers the last few years.
Yeah.
But the Pirates, a few years. I mean, it's been since 79. Because the Phillies won in 80. They've been better ever since, pretty much.
Yeah, if anybody had told 10-year-old me, and nobody did, if anybody had told 10-year-old me, this will be the only time in your lifetime you're going to see the Pirates win a World Series, I would have laughed.
Yeah,
you are ridiculous.
I am.
This, my friend, is the city of champions. It's what Pittsburgh does. There will be many, many championships to come in my lifetime.
Okay.
But I was thinking the other day.
Yeah.
Penn State's last national title was 40 years next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I was taken aback.
So we were seniors in high school the last time Penn State won.
Yeah.
And
30, and I was like,
Goon, just so you know, I just told Ironhead this before. I am retiring next year as a teacher, so it's my senior year again, just like it was that year. So what a fitting way for me to end the career than for the Penn State Nittany Lions to win a national championship.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. Are you ready to?
But at least there's a legitimate chance of that happening. Unlike, at least for the foreseeable future, the beloved Pirates.
Yeah,
that is the heartbreak that it is.
It is, and it's like it's two different types of heartbreak as fans. No matter who you're rooting for, you can be rooting for a team that's never won in our adult life and probably won't, or one like Penn State who's come so close so many times over these last 10 years in the Franklin era. But I'd rather have that. I'd rather I want them to win the championship this year, of course, but man, it's going to be an exciting year. I'm looking forward to it, even with those 3 cupcakes, weeks 1, 2, and 3. I don't know. It can't come quick enough.
They open up as 43.5-point favorites over Nevada. If you missed that story earlier this week. All right. Well, good to see you, dear horse. Thank you for the time.
Thanks for
we'll let you get back to your nachos here at Quaker Steak Lube. The dear Goon will join us when we return. This is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show on Sports Radio.
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see you in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia. Hurry into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, once again.
The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And back here at Quaker Steak and Lube as we roll on a just another picturesque day here in the Valley of Happiness. Another great day to enjoy baseball and outdoor activities as everybody is wont to do.
It's not going to be better the next couple of days there, buddy.
No. Penn State baseball again up 1-0 here in the bottom of the first, although USC has quickly been able to get a runner on base as well. Again, the situation is this. If Penn State wins this game, big if, but if Penn State wins this game, Nittany Lions are into the semifinals on Saturday. I don't know for sure, Goon, if they play then. I'm getting USC Washington game, which is scheduled for tomorrow.
That's what I was telling you and Horace before when you guys were having lunch. I was like trying to explain it. I'm like, I don't know how to explain this because they said the Washington Penn State loser yesterday, the loser is there's no chance to advance. So if Penn State lost, so Washington can no longer advance, even though they have another game.
Well, no, that's not true.
They have to play USC.
Yeah.
But then it goes to head-to-head. And if you know what I mean? If it's all 1-1, we went head-to-head. But if it goes to a tie, this is the weird part. If it goes to a tie, then the higher seed goes. It's like, what is going on here? Seriously,
Oh, that's to look that closely into
if it comes down to a tie, the tiebreaker is the higher to the semifinals, the Final Four. And I'm just sitting there because I was like, what is going on here? It was very odd. But,
yeah, usually I thought it was just run differential.
They're in one. They get in today. They win today. They're going to move on because there's no way that.
So then they wouldn't play the USC.
I don't. Yeah,
game,
I don't know what they would do. I really don't.
I mean, it would be a meaningless game. I don't know why.
I was thinking about today. I was like, how does
team
Washington
through
how did they not just pack their bags last night and say, you know what, we're not going to hang around here to play USC? I mean, what the heck? But I guess they could play. If USC wins, they could play, but they can't. I would say they could play the. You know, they could upset USC. Maybe they lose a game, but then if they all have one loss, USC is going to go because they're ranked ahead of them. This is the way I'm reading it, but I could be so far off there, Jeff. I mean, I don't know. I was trying to understand it yesterday.
I didn't look that closely into it, to be honest with you. And that's always dangerous. But I did. I assumed it was just kind of the way in these events.
This is pod
that
in
is
the pool.
Strange. Yeah.
But you guys were talking off the air, and I have never seen it. What happened yesterday with the tag up from second scoring? I have never seen it.
And it was so unexpected. It's one of those things. I'm watching the game. I'm working on some other things, but I'm locked in at that moment. And you see the fly ball, and again, the Big Ten announcers are, and that's going to score the run. I'm like, well, yeah, clearly that's going to score the run. That's a good job. And I'm kind of like, man, with clean speed, he should be to third too here, and that's going to set up. And all of a sudden, they're like, wait a second, here comes Clay. And man, he's flying in. And then they're like, when they called for the review, I'm like, oh man, I hope not. But like, how in the world? And they showed it. I mean, and it's not even close. I mean, there is zero question that he leaves well after the catch is made, which makes that play and just even the thought process there all the more remarkable. I mean, that is crazy aggressive.
In this game with you now, Jeff.
Speed. Yeah.
That park is huge. Or we are really small players.
No,
because I'm watching that deep drive last night. Yesterday afternoon on the play that we're talking about.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, that is crushed.
Yeah, USC just belted one to deep center to end the inning, so Penn State heads to the second up 1-0.
We're tiny out. I don't know if because there's no fans in the outfield, but there's a huge outfield. But, man, it is a big stadium. And I don't know. College baseball players are a little smaller than minor league and professional baseball players, which is a thing maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember watching the game yesterday, and I was sitting there saying, man, this park is huge. And then when he put that ball up against the fence, and then, I'm not going to say that the center fielder screwed up, but he didn't gun the ball in. He threw a little bit of a lollipop, but, he definitely had that, I'm coming, I'm going to score from second if he doesn't throw this ball hard. I mean, that's the way he took off. And you're right. I
don't think it was a lollipop. But yeah,
it shouldn't have happened.
It didn't. It wasn't as much zip as
let's just say
you'd hope to get. But I mean, it wasn't like he just like.
Yeah, I got you. But let's just say the center fielder wasn't looking forward to go to the bench after that play.
Yeah, but again, I've just never seen anything quite like it. It was a great play. Part of again the mindset, and you're seeing it today. Penn State is just. Clearly went into this tournament. Hey, we're going to let this fly, and we're going to be aggressive. We get an opportunity because they took a couple of bases yesterday by just hustling, and I mean really hustling. And again, they're up early, 1-0, long way to go, obviously. But this is a dangerous 9 seed for sure that Penn State has, and we keep talking about it, Goon, with the. What Penn State has right now, and it just keeps getting better here with the coaching staff across the board. And, we keep talking about Pat Kraft and singing his praises. I'm here to tell you that the hiring of Kayla Trainer yesterday in the lacrosse community is a huge deal. I'm not sure you can quite. I think it's impossible to overstate the significance of this. Just
you had a pretty good analogy when we were talking.
And listen, I don't think it's quite that, but I do think, and that's again we talked about on our morning show. It's Let's Talk. Heard we here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox. You don't want to miss it. Kayla Trainer. If you don't follow women's lacrosse, and I don't follow it closely, so I'm not pretending I'm an expert. I'm just telling you, she is a huge name in women's lacrosse. And the reason this reminds me of the wrestling program getting Cal Sanderson from Iowa State is like Sanderson at Iowa State. Trainer was at her alma mater, and she is the all-time when she finished her career, she was the all-time leading scorer at Syracuse. But beyond that, she's the all-time leading scorer in Team USA lacrosse history. So, I mean, we're talking about somebody that forged a brilliant playing career. 4-time first-team All-American at Syracuse, a 2-time world gold medalist, and the leading scorer, all-time leading scorer for Team USA in women's lacrosse. So we are talking about the legendary figure in Syracuse women's lacrosse and one of the all-time legends in USA women's lacrosse. And she leaves her alma mater where, by the way, it's not like, oh, okay, well, what was she doing there? Well, what she did there was take Syracuse to 4 NCAA tournaments in her 4 years and 2 Final Four appearances in her 4 years. So she had Syracuse on the cusp here of winning it all, and takes the job with Penn State and makes that move. It is a huge hire, and I think expectations, which have always been high for the women's lacrosse program, and Missy Doherty did a great job running that, left for other professionals at the beginning of this month, and Doherty's terrific. But this is a monumental hire. I think it immediately changes the expectations now to where you feel like, as often as not, both lacrosse programs now at Penn State have a chance of going to the Final Four year in, year out. That is pretty heady stuff to take in. And again, we'll see, long way to go, but this Penn State baseball program is also obviously clearly on a very good trajectory. The softball team, softball program is on a great trajectory. Had a key injury to a key pitcher this year, but if they get back everybody healthy, the softball team next year, they just added 2 elite recruits, including a left-handed pitcher from Kansas City, so that they now have 7 top-notch recruits. I mean, this is a highly heralded recruiting class to a softball team that was already putting up historically great numbers for Penn State offensively this past season. They have a chance to make that move, and I think the baseball teams of doing that, maybe in doing that. But and we've talked about it with the Final Four appearances, with the hockey team, and with football and the national titles for both women's volleyball and wrestling, and women's soccer was right there. This is a special time for Penn State athletics, and obviously leading the charge is Penn State football, and there's just a lot of, not just locally, but you're reading more and more national articles on, man, the Nittany Lions look out with that running back room, with that tight end room, with the the hiring of Jim Knowles, with Drew Aller, and everything we've talked about. I mean, that team is going to be in contention. Again, a lot of things have to break right. A lot of things have to come together, but they are certainly one of the teams that you pencil in as a legitimate contender for both Big Ten and national titles in the upcoming season. And now you've got a lot of other programs that are, at the very least, knocking on the door here within this Penn State athletic department.
Yeah, we don't want Pat Kraft's job because of the moving target he has to work with all the time with all the different rules. But the hat is off and dipped in for everything for Pat for this season and what he's done the last 5 years to get to the point where we're at right now. And he is up for, I believe that's announced this weekend or this sometime in the next week as athletic director of the year. He's up for it. He's one of the final four guys. And I don't know how they vote for that. Is it politics? Is it, you vote for me, I'll vote for you next year type of thing? Is it, you know what I mean? I don't know how they go about it, but I can't imagine anybody else having a better year than Pat has had. With historic programs that, this being the first Final Four for not for lacrosse, but for hockey. Women's volleyball is getting back on track that they were at 10 years ago. Football getting to the Final Four. Women's soccer doing what they're normally doing, and wrestling is just wrestling, obviously. But there's two teams that are going to the first Final Four in their team's history. So, Pat is doing the right thing, and then he goes out and rolls out in this coup de grace. He hires probably one of the top 3 or 4 women's lacrosse coaches in the country. We were talking about it Tuesday, how like Maryland and Syracuse, they're the men's lacrosse. That's the other semifinal game, but they're as blue blood as they get in lacrosse. I mean, you think about lacrosse, I think of the Gate brothers up at Syracuse in the 80s. They were unfreaking believable. And then I think of the Maryland Terrapins for decades. They've always been there, and it's always been the hotbeds of the sport where upstate New York and in the Baltimore, Maryland area.
Yep. It's just special times and again, potential here for a pretty big Saturday coming up for Penn State. If the baseball team can pull off the upset here over the number 4 USC, Saturday you'll have Penn State baseball in the Big Ten semifinals, and again men's lacrosse in the NCAA semifinals. And a reminder that we will have the lacrosse game for you live here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox starting at 12 noon. So we will join the coverage right at 12 noon, which is the scheduled start time for Penn State and top-ranked Cornell. And again, that game will be at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. Penn State with runners on first and second here, now in the second inning, and trying to build on the offense that they were able to generate yesterday and see if they can ride some momentum. And, I mentioned this on the I basically, if you missed the morning show, I'm just covering everything with the exception of a couple of political components, everything we talked about this morning on the morning show, so you're not missing anything. But I thought one of the coolest things yesterday in watching that game, Penn State beating Washington 5-3, but they go to Mike Gambino, the head coach of the Nittany Lions, during the game. Okay, so you might imagine Mike's got a lot on his plate. He's thinking about the significance of this game, trying to navigate his team to a huge victory and a needed victory to keep the season going here and all of that. And he's not asked about this. He volunteers. He's at, I don't even remember, maybe the play something about the game. And he's like, we got a great starting performance here by our pitcher. And also, if you don't know this, we just hired one of the best women's lacrosse coaches in all of the land today. That's big news for our women's lacrosse program. And our men's lacrosse team happens to be playing in the NCAA semifinals on Saturday. Just wanted to make sure you guys know that. And I'm like, this is when we talk about building the culture at Penn State and getting everybody kind of pulling in the same direction. I mean, here's your baseball coach during the baseball game, kind of rejoicing in the success of the men's lacrosse program, a fellow spring sport. And the hiring and understanding and appreciating the significance of the hiring of the women's lacrosse coach. I just think that's pretty remarkable, and kind of tells you where Mike Gambino is in terms of whether or not he's kind of all in on this Penn State thing or not, because I don't think there are many coaches during a game, during their event, that are going to bring up on their own, hey, by the way, we've got some other great things going on with other programs at our university. I think that's special stuff. And again, hopefully they can continue to have a special tournament here. They do leave 2 runners stranded there in the top of the second, so we go to the bottom of inning number 2. Penn State leading USC 1-0 in this second game of pool play. Again, Penn State can advance to the semifinals on Saturday with a victory here over the Trojans.
So where does Pat go? The Final Four, or stay out in Nebraska, in Omaha? You know, it's crazy. I mean, I'm sure he'll be in Boston.
I think you've got to go to the Final Four on Saturday and then come back, hopefully, for the
fly
Big
right there
Ten
Sunday
championship game on Sunday. Watch your Nittany Lion baseball team win a Big Ten title and punch its ticket to the NCAA tournament.
Stay right there in Omaha. You're already there.
Then you go down and watch the national championship victory for the men's lacrosse team on Memorial Day. That's a good week.
Hell of a weekend right there.
Athletic director.
Way to go, boss. Way to go. Good for you. That'd be amazing.
Not too shabby.
Racking up the miles.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Good miles at that. Yeah, it is just a special time. All right. The big news, dear Goon, and I figure we'll probably spend the next hour and 20 minutes talking about the celebration. I think they are having a parade in Philadelphia. The Brotherly Shove, a.k.a. the Tush Push. It is here to stay. Well, for at least one more season. Dear Goon,
I don't get it.
Have to be thrilled.
I don't get it. It's a play that nobody can stop, so they try to say it's unhealthy. And come on, man. I don't get it. I mean, other teams have tried it, and they get stopped, and then, you know, it just blows my mind a little bit how – I don't know. I don't know how the Green Bay Packers can look at the Philadelphia Eagles and be like, hey, what's up? You know, like, we try to get rid of this because we can't stop it. Like, I'm sorry, but the Green Bay Packers look really, really soft in that situation, making that claim. And then they're saying that players are getting hurt, and no one's gotten hurt. You know, I don't know. I mean, it was definitely an issue in the playoffs with the Redskins guy jumping over the pile and all of that stuff. We had talked about that weekend, you know, where they were going to award the Eagles a touchdown. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Without even scoring. And then me and you as fantasy football players, me as a fantasy football player, as the horse just looked up at Ironhead.
I'm along for the ride.
The horse just looked up at the Ironhead and said, he's not a fantasy football player, trust me. Yeah, but yeah, I don't. How do you – it just seems so soft to me that they're going to try to get rid of that play. And, you know, what was the rules back when I was playing is you weren't allowed to grab somebody. Like, you remember the Reggie Bush push?
I'm a fantasy football player the same way David Bednar is a closer in Major League Baseball. So it
all goes back to the Buccos.
Yeah.
Well, remember the Bush push against Notre Dame in 2005?
Yeah.
That was illegal because you weren't allowed to assist somebody going forward. At that time, it was illegal.
Correct.
Now it's not. Now it's not illegal. And the NFL,
by 2 votes, it's not illegal.
Well, the tush push. But I'm saying, like, it was allowed. It wasn't allowed before, but they want to go back to that rules. But I don't understand what the hell the advantage is. I mean, because there was stuff. If you recall, when they got rid of that, the push thing was they didn't want offensive linemen running piles, and this is sort of where it comes from. Like, you know, when they're pushing the pile and stuff like that's fine. Yeah. But when they're grabbing guys and like knocking guys over piles, that's what they try to get rid of, I think. And it festered into what has turned into be, you know, are you grabbing and helping and moving guys, which you can't do, but you can do now. But then the tush push, I mean, what's embarrassing is they were doing that from 3 yards in and saying, okay, we got 3 plays to do this. We're going to get this. And that's, I mean, if you can't stop it, you complain about it.
Yeah.
You can't do it. I mean, like, I saw the picture of Love. There was a video of him trying to do it.
Well, here is
some of them are so bad.
Here's the deal. No, they didn't get it through. They weren't able to get the votes. Missed it by 2. Needed 24. Got 22. Voting
and
against
McDermott
it.
should be ashamed of the LaSalle High School player for acting that soft.
Here is the thing. I think the Pittsburgh Pirates ought to make a push next year. If you get to the 7th inning, and this is just, there's a clear unfair advantage that pitchers have against the Pirates lineup. If you get to the 7th inning and the Pirates don't have a hit yet, okay, then after 2 outs, the Pirates get to use the tees for the final 3 innings. And any team that is batting under 225 for the season is afforded the same luxury. I'm going to make that push for next year because it's not fair.
You sure just want to have somebody? Fair. You don't want the ghost running on second base every inning for you guys? You guys should have that. It's like training wheels.
I'd be willing to look at that.
Training wheels for the Buccos. But then you got to do that for the Buccos. What are you going to do for the Rockies? You give them you get 5 runs to start the game. You're already winning 5.
I think that would be 5 might be going too far. So, at least 3.
As a Philly fan, I go to 3 games with the Pirates, sweep them, and then now they're in 4 for Colorado. It's like, wow. Baseball is really gone down in competition. But I mean, think about the West Coast, the NL West right now. You get guys with 27 wins who are in 4th place.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. And then you have some of the other lesser halves, and it's pretty bad, man.
Yeah,
but
we know about pretty bad in Pittsburgh.
You got Colorado to look down upon.
So you are
kick the Rockies around all you want.
You are rejoicing that the tush push will be back, or
the
brotherly shove in Philadelphia.
Absolutely. It's not fun. It's just like one of those. It's a boring play and this and that, but it's actually getting to the point where it's really fun. A couple of years ago, you remember the officials tried to come in and like step in and make some calls, and they said that Jason Kelsey's left hand was offsides as the center of one play, they said. I don't know how you can make that call from the sideline. It is what it is, but they tried to get in the way of their own way. And the Eagles, what do they put, about 3,000 pounds in the backfield and say, okay, we're going to have our 250-pound quarterback who squats 9,000 pounds get pushed in by our running back who squats 19,000 pounds. Stop it.
Here is what I would love to see.
Paul Skeens as the tailback.
And I think Nick Sirianni might be just the coach to pull this off.
Okay.
We have opening night, September 4th,
versus
Thursday
the Cowboys.
Night football. Here come the Eagles versus the Cowboys. Eagles win the toss, say, we'll take the ball.
And they just push from all the way.
Push from play 1.
Wow.
You get, how many tush pushes would it take till they score? 10? 12? I would love to see them. Just for the optics, the discussion points, the fun of it.
And where
10
you just
consecutive.
Fundamentally just break down the Dallas Cowboys defense.
First 10 plays.
This is what we could do. You're not going to be able to stop this.
And they would get, you get 3.5 yards of play, you're going to keep the drive going. I think they would get 3.5 yards per play with the
average.
With the tush push against the Dallas Cowboys.
And then you can run the RPO off of that where you're pitching the ball out. Yeah, it's
Do you think that would get offense, people talking the next day? The
Green Bay might be crying.
Eagles, on their opening drive, run nothing but the tush push and take a 7-0 lead over the Cowboys to open up the
and they stomp on the Cowboys' heart at midfield.
There you go.
I'm in on that. I'm very in on that. No, I see it.
It'd be fun.
I can understand where people get, but I mean, where did it come from that they can't stop it? So they're like, oh, we got to get rid of this play. It's illegal.
That's right.
What in it is illegal. The fact that we're pushing guys from behind, is that what we're talking
once
about?
upon a time, that actually was.
I know it wasn't. It
was illegal.
Like when Reggie Bush, I said that was an illegal move that they didn't call that game.
Yeah.
But now it's been legalized. So he's getting more yards without even being pushed, actually, just because of that offensive line. That's where I'm saying that it's coming from that offensive line. It's not sitting there because Jalen Hurts is going to, it's so strong and he gets pushed by A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley in Dallas. No. You got a left tackle who's 390 pounds, who's pretty much a nimble dancer out there.
Yeah, but you do have a running back who's pushing him, who squats as much.
Could. But, are they really – what I'm saying is, like, he doesn't literally get stuff, and then that pushes him through. They are getting yards without him, without the pushing. But the pushing is legal.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
I will say the pushing has come into play as the
And I'm going to say, as an offensive lineman,
well.
like, I don't know if you've heard like Mailata, he's the Australian guy, the left tackle, the mutant.
Yep.
He just sits there and says, "Here it comes, boys, here it comes," and he has that little Australian accent, and they're like, "You can't stop it, you can't stop it," and it's just demoralizing for a defense. Like, we cannot stop this play. These guys can do whatever they want to us. There's nothing we can do to stop it, and I find that awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, bases loaded now. 2 outs though. Hit batter.
Yeah, big play coming up.
Big
here.
out needed. Big out needed here.
That looked like that smarted a little bit.
Imagine if it was
Cut him
cold
on the wrist.
Imagine if it was cold like here.
Yeah, trying to get this game in ahead of the rain. That's why they moved the start times for the games up an hour today in Omaha.
Oh, I'm going to be in Pittsburgh for June 7th to Saturday for the Phillies Pirates. If you got an extra 9 tickets, let me know.
They'll be easily
they're not.
and readily available.
They are not. It's ridiculous. They're like $85 to $105 a ticket. And I'm like,
wow.
Is this not one of the worst teams in baseball?
Series, yeah.
Is it the fireworks afterwards? Jesus. And really, fireworks is pretty awesome. Wow, man. No.
It's a good time.
Horse. Got the horse. I got the head. So how about that? Having to adjust the headset.
Crew's all here.
Having to adjust the headset because of the horse head that was on here. I had to adjust the headset to get smaller. If that gives you any indication of the horse. That's an absolute first.
I can't imagine that's happened before.
No. There's only one person on this earth who has a bigger head than me. An older man named John Rickey was a DC football coach. I coached this kid, and he was at my house, and I had my football helmets out, and like my
Steve Empman has to be in the same.
He's running. He's in the running.
He's got to be.
It's not really the width; it's the length of my head that gets everybody. You know what I mean? That's the big thing. So, yes, Empman. And then what I said about him is, somebody asked me about the other day, and they're like, "Just look at him. Just look at the features of him." I'm like, every feature in him is huge.
Yeah.
Oh, they gave up one. They gave up one. All right, he kept it in though. That got through. That was going to be 2.
Yeah.
All right, tie game. Here we
Penn
go,
State
boys.
USC 1-1 here in the bottom of the second. That was a
seeing eye.
hot ground
Grand ball.
Right up the middle.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, 1-1 here.
Are the
again,
Buccos playing tonight?
Second.
Do they have another game against the Reds?
No, Brewers tonight.
Oh, they picked a new series up. I got you.
First of a 4-game set against Milwaukee tonight. 6:15 airtime here on Sports Radio.
Division rival.
98.7 The Fox. Division opponent anyway.
Rival opponent,
Yeah.
That's the picture I love.
Whatever.
Look at his right hand on that beer.
Yeah.
That is two
Steve
fingers
Empman,
covering that hand, covering
Steve
that beer.
Empman is a big man.
Speaking of Steve Empman, I saw that Jim Irsay died yesterday. I actually texted my Colts friends. And then, I don't know. I never realized how young he was.
Yeah.
So he took over the business as the president and owner when his dad died. He was 33 or 34 years old.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. I didn't know he was that young. Because it was right around the time I was there. I did not think that he was that young. I really didn't. I thought he was in his 50s and stuff like that. Here he was in his 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a whatever. It's a point we don't want to talk about. Edmund and my brother and those guys, they got paychecks from that family. I never get anything but despair and pain. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, by the way, have you ever been to Nebraska to see that stadium?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen the stadium.
Yeah, we drove by. We were at a wedding there a couple of years ago, and I think that the stadium was sort of new, but they rebuilt, I believe, from the College World Series that they had like when we were little kids. I believe it's a whole new stadium from that. I mean, you could tell that. I mean, look at the stands right there. But a beautiful, beautiful place. We were down there I think it was almost this weekend when they had the Big Ten playoffs that were going on out there when we were there for a wedding. But beautiful stadium, beautiful area and stuff like that. Really cool place.
Yeah. No,
very nice place.
It's a neat area. All right, we'll take a break here. By the way, they are going to the third, still tied, 1-1, Penn State and USC. Again, that is in the pool play of the Big Ten tournament. Nittany Lions with the win over Washington yesterday, with a win here over USC, punches their ticket to the semifinals, likely against top-seeded Oregon on Saturday. We'll take a break here. We are back with much more on this Thursday afternoon. Yep, more wet stuff here in the area. Back after the
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see you in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia. Hurry into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling, seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see you in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
2 of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors. People invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, The Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, The Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
And we are back here on a Thursday afternoon. And big news out of Pittsburgh. Steelers team president Art Rooney II clarifying the timeline for Aaron Rodgers, saying the team will wait a little while longer. Thank goodness we got that clarified, Goon. That is the headline.
What is going on?
Is
it him? Is it money? Is it he doesn't want to be? He doesn't know if he wants to play. Is it a money thing? I mean, would you not want him in Pittsburgh throwing the ball?
Headline: Steel Bills team's updated timeline for Aaron Rodgers. A little while longer.
We're going to wait a little longer.
That's not really an update. That's what they've been waiting for.
In other news, man walks on the moon.
Perpetuity here.
I don't get it. So what is it?
We will wait and see.
Is it him not wanting to know if he wants to play again? Is it the money thing?
He says there's something personal that he's trying to take care of, and so who knows? A couple of other.
Well, honestly, is that what he has said? That there's something personal. I did not hear that. Aaron Rodgers has said there's something. I didn't know that.
Yeah, months ago he said that.
Well.
Yeah. Two former college football players died this past weekend in separate incidents involving half marathons. Former Texas A&M safety Brian Williams passed away on Sunday. He was 24 years old. The Dallas Morning News reporting that he died from a severe heat stroke after running a half marathon in Irving, Texas. That was on Saturday. Raleigh Williams, who is a former running back at Arkansas, made a post about his brother on Instagram after his death, saying that he will miss him and that he was the best version of the family in every single way, and obviously heartbroken. And then we had another horrific situation. New York Post reporting that Charles Ace Rogers passed away this past weekend. He was a defensive back at Minnesota, and he went into cardiac arrest and collapsed while on mile 8 of the Brooklyn half marathon, according to that report. Just was incident
that's horrible
that occurred over the past weekend.
Both team related, but just
crazy.
I know you don't want to joke about that type of stuff.
No,
it's horrible. But you want to avoid those long marathons. Not to sound like John Kruk or anything like that, because God forbid I'm not like him at all.
Yep.
But no, that's absolutely horrendous. Sad to hear. I got some guys that I played with that do run marathons now. They're really into that stuff. I mean, I don't know. I never got into the running thing, Ironhead. As you could, I don't know if you can tell. I don't know if you can tell, Jeff.
Well, you prefer to. I think you kind of decided to just concentrate on the pole vault.
Yes, but the occasion. I really enjoy the biking and the swimming. It's just the marathon that really gets me. It really knocks me off my horse there, buddy. No, but yeah, that's very sad to hear about those guys passing away.
I mean, it's just a crazy situation.
The head just told us that college football came up with the ruling.
Well, yeah, a couple of things breaking today, and we're still waiting for the last 24 hours has been interesting. If you've not been following some of the national news, so we've been saying for quite some time that the NCAA basically has relinquished its role as the enforcement power,
moderator,
in college athletics, and that it is now the conferences. Well, now the NCAA is not even the enforcer in name. If you missed this, NCAA President Charlie Baker definitively explaining that yes, the let me just get the quote here. Quote, the power conference's response to the lawsuit, that's the House versus NCAA lawsuit, that's not part of the quote. The quote is, quote, the power conference's response is to create an entity, the College Sports Commission. The point behind that was to have an entity that would see this cap management system and the third-party NIL system, have rules associated with both, create enforcement parameters for violating those rules under the rubric that would be the theoretical injunction, unquote, i.e., the NCAA is saying that, yes, we do not have enforcement over this. And of the NCAA is saying, nope, that is power cons that are in charge of enforcing the settlement terms. Now, those settlement terms are still not officially adopted yet because we are still waiting for the official decision, which many believe is coming this week. Well, if it is coming this week, it is either coming late today or tomorrow, kids, because that's what we have left in this week, in the work week. Baker saying that the NIL clearinghouse and the revenue sharing cap, again, the responsibility of the power conferences and whatever group they authorize, but it won't be the NCAA to enforce whatever rules ultimately are settled on there. So the NCAA truly is now dissolving as we thought it would.
I will jump in here real quick.
Our very eyes.
Have they even mentioned the Michigan thing? Aren't they awaiting a ruling from the NCAA on this?
Yeah, that's separate. That has nothing to do with the revenue. That had to do with the spying.
Okay, so you're talking about signals. You said the NCAA has relinquished
team signals. Correct. Okay. They've relinquished all enforcement of the NIL and the revenue sharing component completely.
All right,
like we'll have nothing to do with it.
I know what you mean now, because at first I was like, wait a minute, how can they relinquish that? And they're going to put it in charge of the Big Ten, and the Big Ten ain't going to do nothing in Michigan. Sorry.
Well,
they already have.
Yeah, no, the Big Ten would. Yes, the Big Ten, the conferences will.
The NIL stuff. I'm talking about Michigan, the science dealing stuff.
Moving forward, this is all the conferences are going to be in charge here of enforcement of everything.
Does that not scare you, though?
It may be a little gradual. No, that should have happened decades ago.
No, but it doesn't scare you that the SEC is going to hold different standards than the Big Ten.
I don't know that they necessarily will have different standards.
Okay.
That remains to be seen. But the NCAA was one of the worst organizations in the history of this country.
No, that's up there.
The amount of corruption, the amount of it just was awful, and needed to go a long time ago. And yes, I would much rather have the conferences in charge than the NCAA, and it's not even close.
Huh.
Now, a couple of things when it comes to other breaking news today. College football playoffs is going to go to a straight seeding model. College football playoff executives today approving a change to how teams are seeded in the 12-team field. And it was a unanimous vote to place teams based directly on the selection committee's rankings and not by conference championships. So the top 4 seeds in the playoffs had been reserved for the 4 highest ranked conference champions, but it didn't matter where they were ranked. They, could be ranked well outside of the top 4. And if you were one of the top 4 ranked conference champions, you still got a top 4 seed. With the straight seeding format, teams will be seated in the same slot in which they are ranked, and they're just going to do this 1 through 12. So the top 4 seeds, again, if the top 4 happen to be from the SEC, all from the Big Ten, all from the ACC, that would never happen. Was that out loud? It doesn't matter. That you are seated 1 through 12 based on the rankings, and the top 4 seeds would get the bye.
Still doing the bye week. Okay.
Yes, into the quarterfinals. The management committee, which was the 10 conference commissioners in FBS, what we think of as Division I football, those of us that are old school, and Notre Dame's athletic directors. So 10 conference commissioners and the athletic director at Notre Dame. Unanimously, and I am a little surprised at this, although I am wondering how much strong arming was going on with the so-called power causes. But regardless, it was unanimous. Ultimately, this vote earlier today, they gained, and that's what they needed. They needed unanimity in order to change this. If one conference commissioner said, I'm not so sure about this, it would have remained just for the next season, as was last year. And that's what most, I think, had been expecting. But again, they do get the unanimous selection today. And so we move to the straight seeding in the upcoming season. And a couple of things here. So there is a financial compromise according to the agreement. Under the current revenue model, the 4 highest ranked conference champions earn $8 million. $4 million for qualifying for the college football playoffs, and then $4 million for the quarterfinal appearance, which they are assured, obviously, if they are one of the top 4 seeds. According to the compromise, the 4 highest ranked champions, even if they are not one of the top 4 seeds, are expected to continue to earn the $8 million for the upcoming season. That will remain in place at least for the upcoming year. The 2026 playoff will bring a new revenue distribution model that was established last spring, where conferences will earn a base amount in a system without performance payments. And there will be a new format that goes into place next year as well, 2026 being next year. And still a lot of things that need to be sorted out as far as what that future
I have an honest question
will look like.
Are the playoffs? I don't remember. Did the playoffs? Did the players get money for each game? Do you remember?
Yes.
Like a bowl gift or like substantial money?
I don't know what the exact amounts were.
I mean, you're throwing $8 million to the conference title and a bye week, right? Is that going to go into the kitty as a profit share, or is that going to be split amongst the players and part of the profit share, or is that specifically $8 million for the university, and they're going to pay the players on the side. It's just insane to think about all this crap. But yeah, I want to know all that. That was a hell of a play, by the way. The plate, Penn State just threw a guy out at home plate. Tough play. I mean, it looks to be the right call, but we'll see. So I got to find that out. If our players got paid for each game that they played, and then, as you go on, it's like the Super Bowl in the playoffs. Everybody gets the same amount of money, and then, if you win the Super Bowl, you get a certain amount of money. Lose the Super Bowl, you only get this amount. So I'd hope that the players are getting some kind of that money. If they're throwing the $8 million around for one game.
Now, according to Yahoo Sports Story, officials within the Big Ten and the SEC are in deep discussion, is what they say, over holding the season-ending conference tournament-style matchups, where the leagues would pit their third, fourth, fifth, and sixth place teams against one another in potential play-in games for their final two automatic qualifying
I'm in
spots
on that, man.
in the college football
That's
play.
a hell of an idea right there.
Teams finishing number 3 in the standings would host number 6, and number 4 would host number 5 in on-campus games during conference championships weekend in must-see matchups with huge stakes is the possibility here. For the schools, these are new multi-million-dollar assets to sell to any television network or streamer at a time when universities are financially stressed as the age of athlete revenue sharing arrives. And again, it has arrived. We just are waiting for the official terms here from House versus NCAA. Although even once those terms are officially announced and settled, here come the lawsuits. A former Duke men's tennis player, Sam Landau, has filed an objection to the House versus NCAA settlement, alleging that head coach Ramsey Smith lured him to Duke on the false promise of substantial NIL payments and made retaliatory claims to discourage his complaints after breaching those promises. Landau's proposed amendment to the House versus NCAA case, which will allow schools to directly pay players through their athletic department revenues, is an arbitration framework for student athletes to recover NIL payments that were promised but remain unpaid. His objection also proposes an alternative to exclude Duke from the House settlement. Don't think you can quite get away with that.
Yeah.
But who knows? I don't know the legal framework. I do think so. I think that case, and there will be several others, I think, similar in nature that will move forward. I think, Goon, moving forward, I don't think this is an issue because I think this stuff is going to be spelled out in contracts. You're going to have, whether it's a transfer portal kid or somebody signing from high school, you're going to have this stuff, what is promised. And if it's not in your written contract,
Correct.
Again, if somebody's saying, and don't worry, we'll get you,
put it in paper, baby.
If you're signing that contract, at the end of the day, that's on you. Because this stuff will be, I think, largely spelled out. And I think, with the revenue sharing, that the NIL component should go to. And this is where I think this clearinghouse thing is still going to be problematic, because to me, at that point, then that the university is paying the student athlete, or not paying the student athlete, depending on the sport and what the situation is. But and that is the end of the contractual obligation, in my mind at least, with the university and the student athlete. And then if the student athlete wants to go out, as many of them will want to do, and work out a deal with a business or multiple business or media entities in a given area, or a school, that's between them and the entity. And this is where I think they just have to get rid of the clearinghouse idea. And I understand the concern, and
I'm with you.
I don't doubt that there are going to be people that will take advantage of this. That we're going to pay you $1 million to record this 30-second spot because I'm a big booster and I want you to play here. But again, what business is it of the NCAA to tell somebody who has worked out an agreement with an individual or a business that, hey, we're going to give you this money for this service? Who is, and it won't be the NCAA. I just misspoke. Again, it'll be
somebody.
It'll be by the conferences that have this clearinghouse set up to determine, quote unquote, whether these deals are fair market value. I just think that's going to add another layer of problems and headaches and lawsuits that I just don't know if I just think you say, yeah, you know what, it's going to stink, and there's going to be some guys that will do that, and some players that will go to places because of it, and that's life. And it will stink, but I just don't see legally how whatever this clearinghouse is can step in and say, no, we have determined that you are not worth that to this business. That is between the business and the athlete, in my mind.
I mean, just imagine that what the show cause that they have. Oh, then you have to come to the table and say, well, this is what we're going to do here. And then the timing of it all, it's like, it's not going to be like an overnight thing. I mean, I don't know what if the head wants to sign a deal with somebody in Wexford, Pennsylvania. That's where his parents and he grew up and stuff like that. There's a local pizza joint, give him this or that. They have to go through a clearinghouse. Come on now. Now there is some kind of oversight, though. I mean, you got to give it that. I mean, they're at least doing that. But I want to go back to the conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC playing play-in games. Like, the issue I had with last year was the teams that lost the opening weekend of the playoffs, like SMU, their season was over. They didn't get to go to a bowl game. So like say we're playing, Ole Miss is playing Purdue for a play-in game to get into the playoffs for the SEC Big Ten game. Is the loser eligible to go to a bowl game then, maybe? I don't know. I mean, again, so much crap out there. You know what I'm talking about? If the proposed SEC Big Ten play-in game versus 3 versus 6.
Yeah.
Do the losers, is their season over, or are they eligible to go into the bowl system? You know what I mean? It's whew. And we were just talking off the air before about, how the conference title games, it's an extra game that you really don't want to put your kids through.
I would think you'd want to slot those teams that the losers automatically go to
another bowl. So your season's not over then and there.
Is ahead.
Because you're going to take 8 more teams that are bowl eligible and then say, well, no, you're not eligible. So now we have to go back into get a 4-7 JMU team to play in a bowl game now.
Yeah.
So that's just one of the things that just popped in my head. I'm obviously, it's nothing but questions that come out of what they're doing.
Yeah, I would think you'd want to have those teams in bowl games, but I almost think you'd want to have it predetermined just so you know, all right, this is our consolation prize kind of definitively.
You're going to the Gator Bowl.
Yeah,
you're going to the Tax Slayer Bowl.
I don't know that necessarily you want to lock it into the same bowl games every year, but maybe the Big Ten and the SEC, and the other power conferences get together, and it's like, all right, let's go 4-year rotation here, where this team is slotted here from our conference this year, and then the next year slotted there, so that you get hopefully a little mix of teams and conferences in some of those different bowl games. But I also think it makes it a little easier than if you're a fan of the team, or even for the athletic departments themselves. It's like, all right, we know if we win, we're going to the playoffs as this seed, and we know if we lose, we're going to this bowl game. So you at least can start to pivot in 2 directions rather than Yeah, if we lose this, we start the whole process over, and who knows where we end up type of
so that would be
situation.
conference title week, because that's the first week in December. The NFL is not playing games on those Saturdays as of yet, but if you looked at the NFL schedule last week, they are playing that third week in December on Saturday and Sunday. So like last year when we played SMU, remember the Steelers played the Ravens that night. And you had to go somewhere because Notre Dame was playing Tennessee. Was it Notre Dame, Tennessee, or Ohio State, Tennessee? Either way, but there was big games going on, but there was NFL competing with it.
Yeah.
And that game this year is the Eagles. Is on that Saturday afternoon, Saturday night weekend. Like they're trying to go head to head with the NCAA again, and it's like, man, why are you doing that? It's just dumb because that's going. If the NCAA is trying to make that into a big weekend, the NFL is just going to sit there and say, hey, we're still playing our games here. And that they're going to lose coverage, and that stinks. But that's the NFL for you. It's what they do, buddy.
Yeah, it does seem like you'd want to maybe get that worked out so that you're.
No, I mean, I'm all jacked up thinking about this conference title weekend plus the play-in games. I love them. I really do. And then I'm not upset at having to play a conference title game then and getting one more game on your legs. If there's 10 other teams doing it also. So I'm cool with that. And I think it gives a pretty good idea of, if the Big Ten, they might get 6 teams in then, right? Is that what we're saying? Or still going to say the 4 and 4, but the play-in games there's 2. But if Penn State wins both, or the Big Ten wins both of them, that's 2 more Big Ten teams in. That's cool. Again, I would not want to have Pat Kraft's job because of the moving target that's going on every day here, and that'll change. Like we were talking before on the show during the break about all this, and none of us knew what the exact rules were, and then it just happened 19 minutes ago. It's crazy to think, man. That we're by the way, we are 100 days away from Penn State football today, by the way.
That is
so we know. So 100 days out, and we're still trying to create the postseason rules. Moving targets as we speak. Moving targets. So Penn State has got away with a pretty good inning. Had played the play, got him, he was out, replayed it, called him out, and then they got out of a nice little jam there. So going into the 4th inning, tied 1-1.
We will take a break here. We are back with another segment of the Goon and Ironhead show here, the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show from Quaker Steak and Lube.
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see ya in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia. Hurry into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Two of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College, the Goon and Ironhead.
Self-imposed.
And we are back here on a Thursday afternoon as we get ready for the Memorial Day weekend. Hope everybody has an enjoyable weekend and gets to spend some time with friends and family, but also hope that on Monday you take a little time to remember those that did sacrifice their lives so that we can enjoy weekends like the one we have coming up here in our great country. A couple of just interesting things going on. Again, still waiting for the official word on House versus NCAA and what exactly this is going to look like moving forward. And in particular, it does seem like there is going to be not an immediate reduction of the roster sizes across the board, but exactly what is of the immediate reduction in roster sizes, of course, is to be determined. And still some clarity here on how the payments will be made and exactly who can say how those payments are made. Right now, it is proposed that it will just be the schools. And again, in theory, then, depending on some interpretations here, you could have some schools just give all of that money, the 22 to 24 million, straight to the football players and nobody else. You could have other schools giving a little bit to every student athlete on their campus. Everything in between.
Hold on. This is for the.
It's going to be interesting.
Not the back pay, right? This is for going forward. Who is paying what? Who? How much?
Oh, this is the House versus NCAA settlement that we're waiting
the
for.
$2.8 billion.
Judges ruling on. Correct. And again, the lawsuits have already started and will continue once we get the exact settlement terms in. And again, many things that still need to be figured out with that, including moving forward. Okay, who does the negotiating on behalf of the student athletes, because inevitably you have to have some sort of collective bargaining here. Because you're going to have employees, i.e. the student athletes, and employers, the athletic departments, and there has to be, it can't just be an arbitrary third group that says, here's the agreement that you guys must abide by. That isn't the way that generally works. So I think that's still going to be fascinating to watch and keep an eye on. And then again, the more I'm reading into the college football playoffs, I have presumed all along that we are heading to the 16-team format much sooner rather than later. There does seem to be a lot of resistance to that from the Big Ten and the SEC. And I think in part because the revenue that is generated from the 7-game home schedule is significant and critical to those schools. And if you expand to 16, that the concern is how you adjust the schedule. And the one proposal I'm reading about here, and I have a feeling this could very well come to fruition, because I still think eventually the money will talk, and it's like, well, we got to go to 16 teams. Right now, you have to have at least 10 days between a conference championship game and a college football playoff game. So you can't, you can't play your on a Saturday and then the next Saturday, boom, you're in the playoffs. The rules are right now. That obviously can quickly be rewritten. The issue becomes, and I don't think this is going to be much of an issue, whether I think it should be or not, but the Army-Navy game, which we have talked about and we love, and it's still on my bucket list, right now, that has always been a standalone game. And the one proposal here says now I think they would keep the time slot free. I hope at least they would leave Army-Navy as the game in their time slot on that day, but they would have the at least 2 of the first round playoff games be on that same Saturday, and perhaps the other 2 on the Friday night before. Still a lot of talk about it is clear that at the very least, the Big Ten and the SEC will have 4 teams in moving forward.
And I love that. I love how they're going in there and they are saying, we're the big cats. This is how we're doing this. And you are in or you're out. I love it.
Question is, does the ACC and the Big 12 get 3 automatic bids?
1.
In, or is it just the 2 and then you have the 4 at large if you go to 16? And again, at the moment, there's resistance to going to the 16-team format. If it stays at 12 right now, they are looking then at 4-4, and then this is where there's a lot of debate as well. Would it be just 1-1 for the ACC and the Big 12, then another at large and potentially Notre Dame and potentially another at large? That is, again, one of the negotiating points that will get a lot of discussion here over the coming year. And there are arguments to be made, obviously, on both sides of this. The SEC and the Big Ten, to your point, Goon, I mean, they have threatened, hey, we're just pulling out and we'll just play amongst ourselves.
Yep.
And they could probably do that as currently constituted, because it would have a very similar feel to the NFL. In terms of the number of teams and probably the competition. I mean, you're still going to have your New York Jets out there and teams that you know aren't going to be in championship contention, and you're still going to have your Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. And you're going to have a lot of folks in between making moves one year to the next. But my question is, because I do think one of the things that makes college football appealing is getting to see different matchups, both during the regular season, but especially in the postseason. I think that was part of the appeal of the playoffs. Well, does that appeal start to wane quickly if you're getting, let's say it just goes to an 8-team playoff format with the Big Ten and the SEC only? Well, if 6 of the teams are the exact same over a 10-year period, that's like, all right, those teams were in 9 or 10 of the 10 years, and you have just a couple of teams that are in and out over that period. I'm not sure how long Ohio State folks tune in and be all fired up about it. Yep. But if the ACC schools and the Big 12 schools are in their own league, I'm just not sure. I mean, you're celebrating. Yeah, let's throw our power around. How much power do you have if you chase everybody else away? Because that power right now is leveraged through these TV contracts. I mean, that's why they have the muscle. Hey, everybody wants to watch us. I don't know, and I don't know the answer. I'm not saying definitively, no, nobody will watch just the Big Ten and the SEC. I think short term, for sure, like right now, you definitely keep watching that. I don't know, between the pain of the players and if you're excluding, what right now would, 80% of the football towns that are currently tuned in now are excluded from this.
I'm still saying, give me an ACC, give me a Pac-12, give me a Big 12. They're still in there. They're not getting 4 teams in.
No, the Big Ten and the SEC are saying no, that we could pack up and shut you guys out. Like that's what I'm saying.
You're only recruiting against 35 schools, then, and that's the way to go. So
right. Well, but that's what I'm saying.
I know what
how
you're
long
saying.
does that sustain itself?
No, it's
and
not.
I don't know. Maybe it sustains itself long term.
I got a question. You can jump in here. When was the last non-Big Ten SEC national title?
Clemson.
That's it. That's how I couldn't think of it.
Yeah.
Clemson, right? And there's a team that's going to go away. You know what I mean? You're not going to have
unless they make the move to the SEC.
Well, we're also of the opinion that they're going to have a whole new 40-team conference, pretty much. So,
well,
I think we're all on board with that. I mean, I don't think the NCAA, the way it's set up right now, as in the Big Ten and SEC, the way we're set up right now, 18 and 14 teams. I don't know, man. We got to get into like a 50-team conference like the NCAA or the NFL, in my opinion. We have talked about this. This is what you got to talk about in the offseason when there's not much to yap about. But, I mean, give me in the high Division I football level. I mean, I want to get rid of Rutgers. I want to get rid of Purdue. I want to get rid of Maryland. Just the same thing about basketball. Just Penn State. Did they get run out of the Big Ten for basketball? Or is it just straight conference and stuff like that? I don't know.
Well, here's
and by the way, we need to figure out what I made that mistake earlier about before the last break.
One of the stories that I'm reading about also, so the SEC apparently especially, I guess there's some discussion in the Big Ten, but the SEC seems, at least according, I think this is the Yahoo Sports story, again, this is not for the upcoming season. The upcoming season is the straight seeding, 12 teams, all of that. Moving forward, one of the things we talked about the Big Ten and the SEC talking about the possibility of matching, that their top 2 seeds would play for the conference championship game.
Yep.
And then their third seed would host the sixth seed, and the fourth seed would host the fifth seed. And those would be play-in games for the playoffs. And obviously the championship game would determine, in all likelihood, a 1 or a 2 seed versus a lower seed. But what the SEC is going even a step further, and again, this is just in discussions, and this is being reported that officials are talking about this. I don't know that anybody's on the record here. Let me read the Yahoo story, though. And this is where, so we've been talking, Goon, and I think it is likely that we just had this massive expansion where the Big Ten now is coast to coast, and we're seeing it like a Penn State USC baseball game regular season is difficult. Well, but during the regular season, that's difficult for either school to travel, give up, play a 3-game series in the other team's venue. We have long been suspecting that we're going to branch off into back to East region, West region within these conferences so that you have more local or regional play. And then again, in the postseason, you'll get that crossover and meet up there. What the SEC in particular, according to Yahoo Sports, is talking about, and at least some administrators are pushing for, is to actually have a playoff within the conference to determine who goes to, I'm presuming here they would set this up as a Final Four. So they want the SEC to have a 3-weekend tournament where you have quarterfinals one weekend where the 1 seed is hosting the 8 seed, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. Then your quarterfinal winners play in the semis the next week, and then you have your championship game. And Big Ten obviously would do the same thing. ACC would do the same thing. Big 12 would do the same thing. Now, I'm not sure under that proposal Dame figures in. So I think they're kind of forcing Notre Dame to, all right, you got to pick a conference here. If this were, and again, this seems to be only the SEC that's really pushing for this. There seems to be some conversation about it in the Big Ten. I would think the other conferences would be on board myself, because that means, again, you have a Final Four. You're going to be one of the Final Four. That's not the case with the straight seeding format. So I think would be some advantage there.
So they want to expand to a 3-week playoff just for the SEC/Big Ten.
Well,
they're going to drop out of a
12-game
schedule.
Conferences.
Yeah, but they're getting out of a 12-game schedule. Then there's no way.
This would be remaining with the 12-game schedule. That's what this proposal would call for.
So that's 15 if they play for the title, and then they go into the NCAA playoffs, which is going to be 3-4 more weeks.
No, it'd be two weeks. You'd have your semifinals and your championship game.
Okay.
So again, that's just one of the things being talked about. It's
so wide open. You guys have been around a lot longer than I have. Not by much, but
a lot.
You know what I'm saying, though. But have you ever seen it this crazy and wide open? There's no one has any kind of vision or view of what's going to be 5 years from now. Completely wide open. Do you ever remember this? Ever? I mean, in any sport, really. Jeez. This is crazy. All these different things. And again, we're 100 days away, and we're still talking about how we're going to handle the playoff. Are we going to drop out of a 12-game schedule? Are we going to have a 19-game schedule? Are we going to play in Ireland and Brazil and New Mexico City? And geez Louise, man. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it, dude. I mean, we got a 12-game schedule. Knock that down to 10 games. But then, that takes away the home games, and that's where, you got to have the 7 home games. So if you're in the 6th rank in the Big Ten, you're not going to get your 8th game, 7th home game, or 8th home game type of thing. Oh, man, geez Louise, Bubba. And would the university get the money, or was the Big Ten, because of the Big Ten playoff game, Oh my Lord! Who's going to ticket revenue, parking revenue, beer revenue? I need answers, Ironhead. I need them.
If you do go to that type of a format, one of the advantages is you would be able to, I think, more easily break off like into an East-West format where you're able to have more regional play. And really, you could allow for more opportunities, at least in theory, to have crossover games with other conferences, and keep your you could break your like Big Ten into four team divisions, if you will, and then have maybe 3 games against the other division in your conference, if you will. You can divvy it up so you have 2 divisions in one conference. So you play, basically 3 games. Let's just say it was 4 team divisions. You could play the 4 in, the 3 others in your division, and then 4 in the other in the same conference, and then have 1 game each year where you're crossing over, and still keep again the opportunity there to get teams from lesser whatever this is going to become, non-top grade A Division I teams.
We need 2 more teams in those because we've got 18 in the Big Ten, right?
There's 16 in the Big Ten right now.
18
in the Big Ten right now. And again, you got to wait.
I mean, I love the blank canvas because it's really I would love. It's never going to be perfect, but at least these things are being talked about. I mean, I would have loved this in 1994. You know what I mean? I mean,
I didn't think it was a playoff.
Any chance we had to play another game and stomp somebody? Yeah, that's some crazy, man. But I also like the visions that are going into it. So there's actually talk and discussion of how to make more money. I mean, they're just not resting on their laurels about how it was. This is how we did it for years. This is how we're going to keep doing it. No, change with the times, man.
Well, in fairness, they're being forced to figure out.
Well, we didn't like how the NCAA was formed.
They're being forced to pay their athletes.
Screw them.
So this isn't exactly their.
Now, where's the lawsuit that goes back to 1991 and starts paying players then? Where's that lawsuit? I want to sign up for that one.
There you go.
Jeez Louise, Bubba. No, I mean, I do like that, but to stop the confusion of that I had earlier, I thought it was going to be 3 Big Ten versus 6 SEC, 4, that type of thing. So that's not happening. It's actually 3 versus 6 Big Ten teams in a home game. And I like that because that gives us another chance for a home game. You know how much the wonders it does for the university and the town itself of having another playoff game. I mean, that you might have a second playoff game too. I like that.
Yeah. Again, there is.
As long as them Southern teams come up north every once in a while, that's all I want, baby.
There is a lot of moving parts, and it is going to be interesting to see how it settles out and what the formats are that are implemented. I do think one way or another, certainly if they are going to continue with large scale, and I don't know that they are, but if they are going to continue with large scale Division I non-revenue or Olympic sports, they are going to, at least in those sports, but I think in football as well, get back to regional play. So the Penn State will be playing the Rutgers, Maryland, Ohio State, Michigan State type of schedule. I think the Big Ten at some point has to get a couple of more, at least a couple of more Western tems in.
That's the thing I was thinking earlier.
Yeah, to balance this thing out.
Because if even we go east-west in the Big Ten, what West. I mean, there's 4 out west.
And
what 5 in the Midwest are going to go out there?
And again, eventually, I think I still think we're heading toward the super conference, or maybe 2 super conferences, and that's how this thing ultimately will shake out. But we're probably a little ways off, I think, from that occurring yet in intercollegiate athletics, and then
I think that's where it's going to go. I think that needs to be done to make it a little bit easier and everything, playoff wise. Who lines up with who, and it's monitored by one organization. And it's going to be what? What are you thinking? 50, 60 teams? Less? I mean, you have sort of different feelings on this.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. Part of it depends on how, what agreements are signed moving forward in terms of the TV / streaming revenue and how they're shared or not shared. There's not going to be a lot of schools, I don't think, that are going to be able to afford annually $22-24 million to student athletes. And if that's the case, again, you're just not going to have a choice but to drop down. And what I'm curious about is kind of how, whatever middle ground there becomes here, like how many schools are part of that? How attractive is that as a viewing product? Is it that, hey, if you get to the Division 1A, you're making $300,000 a year, and if you're at the next division down, you're making $60,000 a year, or is it just no? You're not. We're back to no. You're a college student. We have extracurricular activities. If you want to sign up for them, that's cool. But it's not. There's not payment involved with that. I don't know. Again, a lot of those things that are still unknown.
And my biggest question, and you sort of have mentioned this a little bit, is: are there teams that are going to stop playing? Is Maryland and Rutgers going to say, you know what, we're not in on this, we're out? Now, I don't think they're going to do that because of the money that's available to them, but I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. Does Northwestern want to continue that?
Yeah, at some point, I think it's going to become a.
But if they're getting $200 million checks every year, they're not going to. They're going to throw it out there and go on, boys, get beat up.
Just real quickly, too, we've been talking about, and we're wrapping up quickly here, but Yahoo Sports insider Ross Dellinger has a report on the new enforcement entity. Again, it won't be the NCAA enforcing the NIL or revenue sharing from the schools. Tennessee Senate, there is a Tennessee Senate bill that allows in-state schools in Tennessee to move freely in the revenue sharing era of NIL without fear of any action by the NCAA. This is apparently, at least in part, what prompted the NCAA to say, yeah, you know what, we're not going to be the enforcement agency here. The membership agreement, as they are calling it, has been in the works apparently since February, according to Yahoo Sports, and would require Power Conference members to waive their right to sue the commission. The consequences include being kicked out of the conference or risk being blackballed by the Power Four if a school elects not to sign that agreement. The new agreement likely to lead to a multitude of legal.
So yesterday, it's the SEC might be kicking Tennessee out of the SEC, and I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? But there's your answer. There we go. Now we know why.
Interesting times, to say the least. All right, that's going to wrap things up for today, folks. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Let's see. The Pirates should be up to a 7-game win streak by the time we next get together It'll be exciting. Folks, enjoy the
Still
weekend.
be 10 under 500. What?
We'll talk to you again next Tuesday. Until then, be good and be safe.
May means warmer weather, the official start of the summer season, and the month that we want to see ya in a Kia more than ever at Lion Country Kia. Hurry into Lion Country Kia now and choose from 79 new Kias on the lot. Just in time for family vacations, check out the refreshed 2025 Kia Carnival MPV. Its new SUV-inspired styling, seats up to 8. Lion Country Kia has the 2025 Carnival and Carnival Hybrid with interest rates as low as 3.9% for 48 months through Kia Motor Finance. There's 4 gas models available and 8 hybrids available with up to a 33 combined MPG. Be sure to check out the full Kia lineup too at Lion Country Kia. And remember, every new Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Make May the month that we see ya in a Kia. From Lion Country Kia, 1334 Dravilla Street, off Shiloh Road, behind Sam's Club, State College.
Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. For details, see dealer or go to kia.com.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA, signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
2 of the top names in local printing have combined to serve you better. King Printing of State College has merged with theprinters.com, forming one of the 400 largest printers in America. Combining traditional offset printing and digital workflow techniques, theprinters.com can print, assemble, package, and ship to anywhere in the world, all with the same high quality customers have known and trusted for over 50 years. Buy local and save. Get started today at theprinters.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXS, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7 The Fox State College.